You ready?
Hello, entrepreneurs, dreamers, business owners, and happy people with high hopes. Welcome to Cashflows with your host, Cash Matthews.
All right. Hey, welcome to Cashflows. I'm your host today, Cash Matthews, and we're very glad you're here. This is a podcast about life and the pursuit of the good things in life, and that can be business or personal. It can be relational. It can be about health. It can be about wardrobe, as it will be today. In a few minutes, we'll be introducing Allison Mitchell to the show. And, life can be a little tricky sometimes, especially when you have a life with business and people and hobbies. And it's so easy to get stalled out. And every so often, you just need to find somebody who you can copy off of, which, in the third grade, that's a problem when you copy off your neighbor. But we discovered in life that it's okay to copy off those people who've been down this road in front of you or before you. And we call that concept fire, aim, ready. And really, the genesis of that is about taking action on those things that you think are important to you. And, I have a philosophy, Kenneth, about the music. I call it the music.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go to the grave with the music still in you. And, I've met so many people in my years of entrepreneurship that they go to the grave with the music still in them. They've got a song to write or a business to start or a fish they want to catch or a relationship they want to have or even starting a business. And they get so tied up and stranded, maybe in the details or maybe from fear, that those things never come true. And they go to the grave with the music still in them. So if you're listening to this or watching this on the YouTube, man, we are about taking action, not perfect action, just action.
Mm-hmm.
Just regular old boring action, because something attempted is, something done poorly is way better than something not done perfectly. And so this show is about taking action. We bring experts from the community that are doing something in their world that you might copy off of them on your math homework. So we're glad you're here today. And Kenneth, let me officially introduce you to the show, Mr. Kenneth B.O.N.G.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.
Very glad you're here, sir. Kenneth is the founder of Kenneth B.O.N.G Photography, Video, and Podcasting.
Oh, all three.
Yeah, you've got a new gig, man. And you've isn't it weird? Like you can be just doing one thing, and then a month later, you're the leading podcast journalist in your community?
Yeah. Leading podcaster in a 500-yard area.
Well, I think it might go a little further than that, but you may be correct. But we could not do this without you. We're glad you're here.
Happy to be here. Thanks so much, Cash. And I know we're all here trying to help out our fellow entrepreneurs as well, right? So we're sponsored by and hosted at the Tulsa B.O.N.G group.
Yeah,
and featuring some great entrepreneurs from there.
Amazing people.
For those that are listening and not watching, you may not realize this, but we're wearing our B.O.N.G jackets today.
Right.
So a little fraternity action there,
Yes,
which is
sir.
super fun. And I know that we're trying to do some daily wisdom tips, some things to just help us grow our entrepreneur community. So
Right.
Today's, I think, was going to be something about balance. Now, that's not gymnastics, right?
Well, unless you teach gymnastics.
Oh.
But, then you would want to have balance while you teach balance.
I see.
But, for the average, ordinary entrepreneur, not that we're average or ordinary. Call me anything but average and ordinary.
That's right.
And the difference in ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra.
Yes, it is.
Was that memeish?
It's not good.
Yeah,
That was
we're gonna hit the button on that.
Oh,
one.
man, we're busted here. Anyway, well, I've been doing what I do for over 40 years, and I love to work with entrepreneurs. It is something I'm passionate about. It's where the Business Owners Networking Group came from, and where we've met all these people here in the Tulsa community that, they're amazing people. And to be successful in business, there's really 4 things you have to know. And I'm going to talk about one of those things. I'll list the 4. Number 1, you have to be good at what you do. If you're checking in on this presentation today, you got to be great at what you do. Mediocre does not get the job done. And, maybe there's a time when you need to go and work on your skill set a little bit. The second thing that you have to do is be great at running your business. You got to know we've talked about this. You got to be great at things like HR and taxes and, all these other things that you didn't see coming when you started your business. They're kind of the harder side of business. Number 3, you must be great at marketing. You have to let people know that you exist. But number 4, you have to maintain the right kind of balance. And we're going to talk about that just for a moment. The one thing you don't want to have happen is you don't want to be who's he or who's who in business, but who's he at home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got nominated for who's who in business right after I started my business. I didn't even know how that worked. And then, you know, what good is it to build up a good name in business, but you don't have a personal life? Or maybe you're great at business, but you don't have a health life, or you've given up your hobbies, you know, and I know there's a time and a place to absolutely focus and pour it on. But over the course of time, I think you'll find that having a balanced life is the proper way to build a business, because we're all human. And if you burn out, you know, I had to tell that to a young guy, hey, man, don't burn out. Well, I don't want to rust out either. And I'm like, yeah, that ain't your problem. And I just don't think you want to go through this life. It's not designed to be endured alone. And your children are watching, if you have children. And why all of the effort if you can't share it with those people that you love? And that might be your friend group. It might be your family. And all I am promoting, Kenneth, is just a healthy amount of recognition.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe you should underdo it, but I think, should you overdo it? Absolutely, for a period of time. Our guest today is somebody who has poured it on in business. And how long can you really do that for? Can you do that for a 10-year period? Well, if you're a beast and motivated and all that kind of stuff, you know, but what are you going to do when the coffee wears off? You know, who's going to be there with you when you do make all the money? It's going to be your friends. It's going to be your family. Just don't forsake them in the process of building a business, because most often your purpose in building the business is to take care of those people we love. So there's a little irony in that, and it's a lot of difficulty, but I want to challenge you. Make sure you don't ignore, is one of the most important parts about business, is making sure you have people there to enjoy it, the intended people for your success anyway. You know, you feel that same way, Kenneth?
Oh, yeah. I like that sentiment a lot.
Yeah. You know, and I like that there are days that you and I just aren't going to work.
That's true.
And that's about balance. It's about spending time with family. So, well, very well. Well, I'm going to introduce our guest. That's the purpose of the show.
Yeah, she's here.
Yeah.
Would you look at that?
When did you get here?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, we dress the same, sort of.
We're matching.
We're matchy. I like it.
Yeah.
And these are B.O.N.G fraternity jackets, because that's what you do at age 62. You start a
That's
fraternity. The Beta, Omega, Nu, Gamma fraternity. We started it. We're running it. We're having a lot of fun. We got older members and we've got younger members. And it's honestly just a way to have some fun. And we meet people that they don't want to have fun.
It's true.
You know why?
Why is that?
They're out of balance.
Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah. I got them right there.
Hey.
I'm not worried about offending them. They're not watching the show. They're working. They're pounding the phone. They're
That's
pounding
probably
the
true.
pavement. So, all right. Well, Allison Mitchell, good afternoon. We are so glad you're here. Say hello to our listening audience.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, we're glad you're here. Now, we know that you live up in Collinsville, so you probably had to take a helicopter to get here today.
Oh, not quite.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so we're going to talk first before we get into, you know, your story, but we met you at this thing called the B.O.N.G,
Yes.
the Business Owners Networking Group, and we really want to get your perspective on what the B.O.N.G has been to you, what it's like. You know, what do you think about it all?
I really like it. I enjoy it. I like having people that know what you're going through and can relate to everything, because
Yeah.
people that don't own a business can't.
Right.
They have all these misconceptions about it.
Right. What do you think the biggest misconception about is?
Oh, they think because your business is doing good, you're doing good.
Right.
Like the business is making money, you're making that money. Like, no, it's completely separate. My
Right.
money is not the business's money.
Right.
So that's like my biggest pet peeve. Also, they don't realize that I work on my employee's schedule, not the other way around.
Right.
Which I'm sure eventually, you get to having multiple employees where you can do that. But when you start out, you're definitely working on someone else's schedule.
Right. And so it's nice to be part of a group that have been down the road of
Exactly.
entrepreneurship. I'm one of those who's been down that road, and I know early it's okay to be a little bit out of balance.
Yes.
You know, because you kind of don't have a choice.
Right.
That's
Like
true.
once you get started, and I mean, you're a younger. Am I allowed to ask your age?
I'm 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I literally have shoes that are older than 25.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cute. Vintage.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Spoken like a retail store owner.
Yeah, that was the well. Then, okay, that threw me a little bit. I have vintage shoes, and actually, I'm probably a vintage guy. So now, you have a relative that's in the Bond group?
Oh, Clarence, yes, and Missy,
Oh
and
my goodness!
Cameron, and yes.
So
Wow.
today, our studio break ought to be about Clarence.
Sure, why not?
Okay, we're gonna gas up Clarence Shaw here when we do our studio break in a few
Alright.
minutes. And I forget how long have you been in the Bond group?
Ooh, maybe. I think it's been less than a year.
It's getting close, though,
It's getting
right?
close to a year, yeah.
Right. Now, little known fact about you that's not in any of the questions we're going to ask,
Ooh.
but I'm going to ask it anyway,
Okay.
is you're a bass fisherman.
Oh, yes, yes, and no. My boyfriend is a bass fisherman, and I am the best support ever.
I have there's a photograph of you holding a large fish.
Yes,
Did you catch that fish?
I was supportive in catching that fish.
Okay, will you allow that, sir?
I'll allow it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
so
I
that is
just,
your
I just
fish.
spoke to the judges. They allow it.
And the photograph is of you holding a fish.
Right, right.
Okay, and the whole world would assume you caught that fish.
I was there when that fish was caught.
Okay, well, look, we're trying to give you the fish here.
Yes.
That is your fish. That
Right.
makes you a fisherman
Yes.
or fisher.
Woman.
Woman.
No,
I don't know.
I don't know. But you're on a boat and there's a fish and you were part of it.
Exactly.
And you photographed it.
Correct.
Fisherman,
Yeah,
Fisherman.
it counts.
right?
Sold.
Yeah. And I don't think people know that about you, though. But you enjoyed it.
Yes,
And do you enjoy going out on the water?
I do. I do.
Yeah. And you don't do that in the crazy, your boyfriend's not a crazy wintertime fisherman?
Oh, no, he is.
Oh, he is.
He's an all the
Ooh.
time fisherman. Yes. All weathers. All the above.
My new BFF.
All right.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet him. Okay, well, that's cool. Well, thanks for being part of Bong.
Yeah.
And I know you've been one of the 5-minute presenters as well.
Yes.
And that is awesome. We love to see young people go do something. And I want to hear about the origin point. I'm going to read your company name out. It's Caddy Corner, Caddy, caddycornerclothing.com.
Mhm.
It's in Collinsville.
Yep.
And you have that little corner spot, not little corner spot, but
Yeah.
so walk us through very quickly well, first, how long have you had the store?
So it'll be 2 years in March.
Oh my goodness. So this isn't brand new. It's actually happening.
Right. Yes.
All right. And we are licensed psychologists.
Oh, no.
Well, not
no.
really.
Ooh.
I have a minor in psychology.
I
Um,
mean,
I'm
we
right there
printed our
with
own
you.
licenses, I think, is
yeah,
probably
I got
what you
mine
mean.
off the internet. Yeah, there's a get your psychology license for $5. But
.com.
being a business owner at a young age and choosing it, walk us through becoming a business owner at the age, I guess, then of 23.
Yeah. No, it's been crazy. It's really like a learning lesson for me. I
Right.
learned a lot about myself and a lot of personal growth through it.
Okay.
Um,
How does a 23-year-old come to be part of something that you own and you're running it and you promote it? You do a great job promoting it. You're good at marketing.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody kind of follows your pictures because you put up
Aw.
a picture almost every day.
Yeah, twice a day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's a group of us. We go, hey, what's Allison up to?
Aw.
And I don't know what good clothing looks like.
Oh.
I-
But we're
uh,
matching today.
Today we
so.
match, and I blame myself. Do you have jeans on?
Yes.
Oh, you don't have a black shirt on, though, do you?
Gray.
It's close enough.
It's a shade.
It's a shade of black.
Yeah.
Stranger shade of black. Okay, cool. So we're twinsies today.
Yeah.
That is awesome that you're dressed like an old dude.
Yay.
Yeah. we need to make sure this photograph does not go out to your market.
Oh, no. It's okay.
I don't want to wreck your credibility, but you market yourself very well.
Thank you.
Okay, just walk us through entrepreneurship. Did you work before this?
Yes. So I have a background in sales. I feel like that's definitely helpful in like the retail business or really any businesses. Just having a sales background is
Right.
important.
Right. But you at 23, she had a background in sales.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, because that's normal.
So I made a lot of grown-up decisions very young, and not all of them were right. But that's definitely the reason why I'm able to be where I am today.
Right. Right there, you made decisions, and you stuck by them, right or wrong.
Hmm.
that makes them the right decision because
Yeah.
they develop your character into who you are today.
Exactly.
And you may evaluate them as wrong decisions. I don't think there is such a thing. I mean, they
Hmm.
may have a different outcome than you anticipated,
Hmm.
but they help you learn to see those things that you didn't see when you made the decision,
Yes, super impactful decisions.
right? So how then, tell us the story of Caddy Corner.
All right. So I guess I'll start with question one.
Well, we're not going to call it question
Okay.
one,
Okay. All right.
but we're just three
So-
dudes talking in a
Okay.
refrigerator box here.
Okay, so I feel like the right place to start my story is kind of a pivotal moment in my life.
Right.
I know everybody kind of has those, and whether they be like a religious experience or a traumatic experience or whatever it may be, I happen to have kind of a traumatic one.
Okay.
And
And you're okay to talk about this?
yeah, no, yeah. Yes. So,
Do we have Kleenex on the stand?
We do.
No.
This for me.
That's what I meant.
So I'm one of those people that kind of needed a push from life to get started on my journey and on my path. Um, I graduated college at age 20, super young. I went through it. It was all just going through the motions. It was super black and white. You know, you take a test or you study for a test, you take
Right.
it, you make a good grade, and then you're on to the next.
Right.
It was really easy for me because it was so structured. But after graduating, I had no idea what I wanted to do with
Wait,
my life.
Hang on. Did you say you graduated college at 20?
At 20, yeah.
Okay. I thought you were one of my relatives. I
With
thought
a
you said high school at
bachelor's.
20.
No.
Okay.
No, I really enjoyed college, but after getting out of it, I was kind of stumped. I didn't know like where I wanted to go after that, how I wanted to move forward, and I was kind of in a situation where it wasn't just about what I wanted, it was about kind of what would work best with who I was with and the situation I was in. And I actually ended up taking more tests, which comes to my sales background. So I became a licensed real estate agent
Oh,
and a
okay.
licensed insurance agent.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I was a dual agent. I knew I could take tests. I knew I could pass them. And that's what I did. And it kind of bought me some time. But I knew that that wasn't what I wanted to do forever. It
Right.
was kind of just a placeholder, which worked out for a while. But then I kind of had that traumatic experience where I ended up losing my house and a lot of my personal belongings, and I was forced to live life on my own. So that was crazy being at that point 21 and not having any backing or support anymore after I had that. I was relying on other people for a lot of things, and I was now in the point where I had to do everything on my own. I couldn't even open like a jar of food. Like I remember sitting in this really sketchy house with a knife and trying to open a jar of food because I didn't have a can opener because I had lost that in the move. And I didn't really have anything to cook the food on. I had like a little portable stovetop burner because my oven didn't work. And it was just a hot mess. But being in that hot mess and being pushed to do things for my own, I just had a lot of ambition and drive to get myself back to a point where I wanted to be.
Right.
And it really took that transition to light a fire within me. I know, like, without going through that traumatic experience and having to rely on myself only, I would have never been to where I am today.
Wow. Okay. So your mess became your message.
Exactly. Yeah,
Wow.
it's the push from life that I needed because, not making a decision is, and not making a decision because you want to make the right decision is awful. You've
Yeah.
got to do something for you.
So you have this story, graduating college at 20.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, that's impressive.
I was happy with it. Yeah.
Yeah. I doubt we're going to hear that story from any of the other podcasters. I was freshman of the year 3 years in a row.
Oh no.
You're graduated, and I'm still rocking out Econ 101.
Oh.
Yeah. So when I hear somebody that actually does that, it's a little intimidating. And you worked in the real estate industry. You worked in the insurance industry.
Yes. Yeah.
And those are relatively easy industries to get into.
Yeah.
But they're hard industries to build a successful business quickly.
Yes. Especially the real estate industry was hard for me.
Right.
Insurance was super easy. I mean, I could have done insurance for the rest of my life, you
Right.
know. but it wasn't what I was passionate about,
Right.
for sure.
So is that why you opened the clothing store?
So, yes, yeah. So I bought an existing clothing store.
Okay.
Caddy Corner was an existing and running store. I actually used to shop there when I was a kid.
Right.
So it's been around for a long time. My grandma would pick me up from school, and we would go to Caddy Corner to go shopping, and then we'd go home and we'd do my homework. And so it's always been like a place where I have these memories that I cherish and love, and it's always kind of been like in my heart. I know that's cheesy, but
Well, you're on a cheesy podcast.
I
I don't know if
know
you're aware
I
of that.
am just a cheese ball right now.
All right.
Um, but yeah, like my grandmas are best friends, and so we would all go thrifting together. It was like a thing that we did, and that's like why I have a thrifting problem. I blame my grandmas. But the reason I bought Caddy Corner is because I'm truly passionate about clothes. I always wanted to own a clothing store. Like as a kid, you always dream these big dreams, but I never really thought it would happen, especially being so young. It was maybe like, oh, once somebody dies, I might have money to finally get to do what I want to do. And I know that's like awful. That's so not what people should think. But of course, that's what I thought. So I am happy that I was able to do what I wanted to do so young.
Got it. So you work in this world where most entrepreneurs are not your age.
Right. Yeah. No, exactly.
And you came a long way from not being able to open a can of food
Right.
to opening your own clothing store.
Right.
That's a phenomenal story. That might be 2 podcasts long.
Oh, man.
I would love to hear, like, what was it like on the first day? Like your store is open. It's the first day. You're in there, maybe with friends or family, but still by yourself. I mean, what's that first day like when you're 23 years old and you're doing something that was like, I'm a first day kind of guy. I want to know what was going on in your brain.
So, yeah, I'll skip ahead a little bit. So, I didn't tell my friends or family when I bought Caddy Corner. I just did it.
No kidding.
So the first day was just me and the lady I bought the store from. And it was just me learning from
Right.
her. That was several months, was just me learning. And honestly, I didn't even tell my family until maybe a few days in, after all the paperwork was cleared and all the checks were signed and all of it was completely finalized.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a lot on my own, which, I could have told them, but it's something that I wanted to do without any, just without any questions.
Yeah, no questions, no influence. You
Right.
knew it was the right decision.
Yeah.
And this was you kind of standing up and going, I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Something for myself, which was nice.
Yeah, I'm kind of blown away here, Kenneth.
That's cool.
I don't know what else to say. Like, I'm just outmatched at every level here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So I remember my first day going full time in what I do. And I was nauseous the whole day. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I done? What am I doing here? Because I'd kind of waited tables.
Okay.
And that's why I love that first day story. Because my first day was, I went and hung out at this little office, and the guy was like, so what are you going to do? And I'm like, I think I'm going to vomit. And it was that for a while. And I'm like, what have I done here? So no, like early on, no buyer's remorse, or was it scary?
I mean, no, honestly, I know I never had any regret. I was never like fearful. Honestly, I believed in myself. I saw the vision. I saw exactly what it was going to become before it was what it was.
I think that's a real thing where there is no vision, people perish.
Mhm.
And you said you had a vision of what it was going to become, and
Mhm.
you just worked towards that vision.
Yeah.
It's very okay. We're going to start working on your first book here.
Oh no. Oh.
So what advice would you give to young entrepreneurs? Like, like our group that you and I are part of, that you're
Mhm,
helping
mhm.
build, that we're all
Mhm.
collaborating on. In the last 3 months, we've probably had 100 people come in that are under 25.
Hmm.
And I like to watch the ages and the demographics.
Yeah.
And more young people are opting for entrepreneurship. And I think your story to lots of young people is valuable, whether they're in the clothing business or not. But, I think there's a thing about you called grit. And one of my favorite books, Kenneth, is called Grit. It's about people
Yeah.
who just do the thing anyway.
Yeah.
Without their friends and family. What advice would you give to young entrepreneurs today?
Yeah. So basically, my advice would be to network. So I did buy Caddy Corner because I had an existing relationship with the person who had owned it.
Right.
So life really is about who you know. And I
Right.
know people don't want to hear that. They want to think that you go to college and you graduate and you get this great job. No. No, it's about who you know. So I had built the relationship with the existing owner not only through shopping there, but I actually did my capstone project for college there.
Oh,
So
okay.
I built their website and I redid their branding and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok marketing. And I was working as a marketing executive for this store and it flooded. And I was an hourly worker, so I was out of work for 2 weeks.
Oh, no.
And I lived right by Caddy Corner. So I walked down to the store and I was talking to the owner. I was like, Diana, what do you have for me to do? Because I had, done my capstone project there. She knew that I was familiar with everything. And she's like, well, you could run the register. And of course, that was kind of like a downgrade. But I'm like, yeah, anything, like literally anything to pay these bills because it's all on me. Every single bill, and like my student loans, card, rent, all of it, it's all on me. And I didn't have a job. So definitely it's about who you know. I worked there for a few weeks, and by the time I got the phone call that it was time for me to go back to work, I couldn't go back.
Ooh.
I couldn't. Like, I loved being around the clothes. I loved redressing the mannequins. I loved doing the marketing for the store. And I told the lady who owned the store this. I was like, I really don't want to go back. Please don't
Make me go.
leave.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, what about, if you bought it? I was like, oh my God, yes. Like, yeah, sign me up. Where do I sign? Like let's do it. But then it's like, okay, so at this point, I'm 23 and I have no collateral. I have no co-signer. I have literally nothing to my name. So it's like, okay, I need a loan. Like, who's going to give me a loan? Nobody. Like, it took several months, I think 3 different lenders. Oh my gosh, so many business plans. So it took a lot of convincing, a lot of hounding. And that's definitely more advice I give to young entrepreneurs is just keep trying if you need that loan. Like, keep hounding the loan officer, keep researching and finding more like things available to you and
Right.
other loan options for you because you're not going to get a loan in one day.
Right.
It takes several months. So advice would be network, figure out who you know, get to know people, and don't give up on that loan.
I agree with you completely. A part of it is about who you know,
hmm
but it also is about who you are.
Yeah.
And I'm sensing this, because I know you. We really haven't had a great chance because I stiffed you on the one-on-one. we had some stuff come up.
It's
And
okay, I'm here.
we're still going to go eat Mexican food downtown there. I promise you. As soon as this podcast series is over, we'll be right there. My treat as well, and you can have dessert.
Oh,
But I'm seeing this story evolve that I really didn't know about.
yeah.
Like I figured I was missing something, and I am is a woman of character and integrity
Oh,
and grit.
thank you.
And I admire that on many. My mother was a woman of grit, and this will sound weird. My mom would have been I don't know, how old would she have been today? 83.
Hmm.
And you're 25.
Mm-hmm.
I just found a bunch of old photos of her at your age,
Aw.
and I'm just trying to wonder what she had. But as I got to know my mom growing up, she had grit. And you have grit, so that makes you my favorite entrepreneur right now.
Well, thank you.
That is such a cool story.
Oh.
We're gonna obviously have to do a second
Oh
podcast.
gosh. Okay.
Yeah, this is not going to be enough. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to hear about your friend Clarence Shaw. Mr. Kenneth, what you got for us?
Well, conveniently, I have something about Clarence Shaw. Embark on a journey into the realm of affordable custom gifting and branded excellence with CM Customs. From custom trophies to personalized closing gifts, lake maps, drinkware, and professional branding items, we are your go-to for unmatched customization, making you the hero of every occasion. Learn more at shopcmcustoms.com.
One of my favorites, Clarence Shaw, shopcmcustoms.com. He was one of our original 12 members of the B.O.N.G.
Aw.
and I met him, and he kind of stood off in a corner, and then we just became friends. And I sure love. He's such a good man, and he brought you as well.
All right.
The
Yeah.
the grit story. Well, so now do you have employees in your store?
I have one. Yeah.
Yeah. How's that working out?
So.
Oh, wait, hang on a second. We would like to reserve the right for you to go, that's a great question that I'll answer on the next show.
Okay. If that's.
Well, I mean,
you want.
if there's an issue, we just don't want to call anybody up.
No issues.
Okay.
Yeah. So the whole employee situation is like a whole nother thing there, but yeah. It's hard. It was hard. It was hard employing somebody and being a boss. I
Yeah.
mean, because being so young, of course, and like I was hardly in control of my life, let alone deciding someone else's and what they're supposed to do at my store. I actually went a whole entire full year before hiring my employee,
Smart.
which no, I don't recommend.
Oh, you don't
I
recommend that?
It was hard. But like, giving someone else the keys and letting them run my store. I mean, it was difficult handing my baby over.
Right.
And I did go through a few employees before I found the one I have now. And also one thing I don't recommend, but it worked out for me, was my employee is my best friend.
Oh, okay.
I know you're not supposed to hire friends and family. I know. But
I don't have an opinion on that.
right. But yeah, she's so great. Like, she is the friendliest. People actually think we're each other because we look alike. We actually look just like sisters, maybe twins, but she's like a foot taller. So we actually get in arguments. People are like, "Oh no, I just talked to you yesterday," and she's like, "No, you talked to the girl that was a foot shorter than me."
Got it. All right. So I love this story, and I'm so glad to be just hearing it. We're with Allison Mitchell today, and she is the founder of caddycornerclothing.com. Caddy's with D's in it. CADDY, cornerclothing.com. You can find her on the web. You can find her on the Facebook. Find her on the Instagram.
MySpace?
She's too young
I
to
don't
make
know.
the MySpace
Oh, that's true.
MySpace
That's true.
joke.
That's true.
MySpace was a thing.
Right.
It was pre-Facebook.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you were born then. Maybe you were like 6 when that was going. So when you, what was your goal when you started the store? Like, when it's going, you've got to see something to the future because you're building into the future. What kind of goal did you have starting out with your store?
Right. So my vision, when I bought it, and why I wasn't so nervous, is that I just wanted a store that I would prefer to shop at more than the other stores that I was thrifting at the
Right.
time. So that was always my main goal. And I definitely started like cosmetics. So I
Oh.
repainted with the help of my grandparents. But I repainted the entire store, all the walls, the floors, the dressing room. And this is not a tiny store, you guys. It was a lot of work.
Oh my gosh.
So definitely I improved it cosmetically, which took a lot of time. But I also improved the product taken as well. I mean, I'm really picky about what comes into my store.
Right.
Not only just brand specific, but it's got to have the je ne sais quoi. I'm not going to take in a black t-shirt. Sorry, you guys.
Lots of je ne sais quoi.
That's right.
Right.
Okay, I'm good.
But I also, have vendors in my store that have like locally made items. So like I have one right now that's tumblers. I had someone that did candles. So definitely like cosmetically pleasing, but having product that's pleasing as well. That was always my goal. And it did take about 1.5 years to get the store to the point where I was proud of it.
Right.
And I know that's kind of like not the nicest way to put it, but I had such high expectations. And it was frustrating, not being able to open and have
Right.
it be perfect, having to work up to the point where I needed it to be. But basically, the goal was to have a thrift store that didn't feel or look like a thrift store.
Okay.
And I feel like I've accomplished that because, like, short story, and this happens every once in a while. It's not just the one time. But I have people that'll come in my store and they will look at a product and they look at the price tag and they look at me and they're like, "Why is this so cheap?" I'm like, "Oh, well, because it's thrifted." And they're like, they pause and they look around the store and they look back at me and they're like, "Wait, this is a thrift store?" And that's exactly what I always wanted.
Okay.
Was that like it makes my heart melt. Like I'm like, yes, score. Like I happy dance. I'm like, yeah. So so I'm getting hyped just thinking about it. But no, that was goal. That was end goal for me, and I'm really happy that I'm able to achieve what I wanted out of the store. So now it's basically just moving forward and maybe getting Caddy Corner is one of like the most well-known thrift stores in the Tulsa area.
Right. So you're in Collinsville.
Yes,
All right.
Tulsa County.
Tulsa County,
Yes.
but Collinsville.
Yes.
So just really not that far. From Austin, like in Austin, everything's an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And in Tulsa, you can be in Collinsville in like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to
Yeah.
find. So you're a big part of the community.
Yes.
And I guess becoming a bigger part of the community because communities like successful people.
Mm.
But like where you do business is important.
Mhm.
Where people do business is important. Not
Yes.
just buying everything off Amazon, but where you do business is important. Talk about that phrase.
So I grew up, my parents were divorced. I grew up partially in Collinsville and partially in Claremore. And so I got to see the both sides of each city. And that means I got to see the people in both cities. And I, of course, chose Collinsville to live and to do business in
Okay.
because the people in Collinsville aren't like a lot of other towns. I mean, it's really full of the nicest, kindest people around. Like, if someone loses their wallet on Main Street and someone picks it up, they put it on Facebook. Like, whose wallet is this? Someone's missing this. Instead of just taking the money out and trashing the wallet.
Right.
Like, it's really, and I know it, again, I'm a cheeseball, but it's that town. It's that hallmark, good hometown feel that you want. So where you do business is important because it like drives the people you do business with. And I always knew that I wanted to do business with people in Collinsville.
Right. It's a sweet city. We were up there for the grand opening of T3 Coffee Roasters, your neighbor.
Yes.
And I hope you guys have a wonderful. We're actually having a coffee up there, I think, in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have to arrange a tour of Caddy Corner.
Oh, man.
So maybe we get. We had the cupcake lady earlier. Maybe we do a cupcake Caddy Corner collaboration. That's as many C's as I can.
That's pretty close.
As I can put in one sentence. Sorry about that. That's a beautiful statement. Where you do business is important, and it's your hometown. It's a home. That's kind of where they film all the Hallmark movies, where there's a. Anyway, I'll leave that to the imagination. Okay, so I've owned a business 42 years, and it has never been easy. Like I keep thinking, hey God, give me a little something here. I want this to be easy, and there's not one time that it has ever been easy for me. And as I look back on my career, I go, it's not easy, but it's worth it. What has been hard for you in running your business?
So and this is a no-brainer, the absolute hardest part of owning a business for me was being a rule maker and a rule enforcer. I hate being a fun kill. Like, there is a reason that my dogs don't know what no means. And there's a reason I don't say no. I don't like I hate making rules. I hate rules. Like, I don't want to follow the rules. But yeah, being like going from a place where you have an HR department or you have a manager or you have someone to step in and deal with, disgruntled customers for you. And then just like that, going to be the person that deals with all that is really hard, especially being so young and immature and not having the life experiences that I needed to be equipped with to deal with that. I'm not going to lie. I have hid so many times and I still hide. I will literally crawl on the floor to avoid a situation. It's bad. But I'm getting to the point where I'm able to be proactive instead of reactive, which can also be frustrating because I don't like to mom people. I don't want to.
Right.
Oh, man. but yeah, no, that's been hard for me. But I have to keep in mind that, it's just one or two bad apples a year. Maybe more, but most of my customers are so amazing. Like, I've made so many friends. Like, I love these people. I care about them. Like, if they called me and they were on the side of the road, I don't know what I do to help them, but I'll go.
Yeah.
If they need me, I'm there.
That's the team spirit right there.
Right.
Man. I love it. And that's the kind of the chosen family sort of deal that you do in networking, but you're building that in your business as well.
Yeah.
And that's a cool story. Well, we need to have an event there. I mean, I'm officially announcing some event at your store. We need to figure it out. We'll do it with the T3 Coffee Roasters people.
Yes.
Do you sell men's stuff?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And most of what you do is consignment.
Yes.
So is it the kind of thing where people could bring things to you and actually make money?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's crazy. I mean, why wouldn't people go fill your store up with great? But you want the whatever you called it, the
It's gonna have the je ne sais quoi.
je ne sais quoi, yeah. So, and I have 20 black T-shirts, and
That won't work.
that's no good.
Those can go in the grab bags.
Wait, you said grab bags?
Shh, don't tell the customers.
Okay, I thought you said okay.
It sounded like garbage, but
Grab bags.
Yeah, it's a French word.
So
Garbage.
if you like to gamble, I have mystery grab bags available.
Ooh, that's a mystery.
You could get a black T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm good on black T-shirts at this point. Yeah, do you know what Garanimals were? Sears
Is
used
that
to.
yogurt? I feel like that's a yogurt brand.
We're gonna come back to that, but I would challenge you to Google Garanimals.
Okay.
The word animals with G-A-R on it. Garanimals were kids' clothing at Sears,
Okay.
and if you matched up like a tiger with a tiger, they matched. And you could go find a
Oh.
shirt over here with an orange tiger and pants over here with an orange tiger, and they were guaranteed to match.
Like for the zoo?
No, just so that you could go to school and not get punched.
that's true.
I mean,
I feel like you'd get punched wearing a tiger suit.
well, they weren't really tigers, but it was like the tag on it, and you just matched the tags up, and that meant that the clothes matched each other.
I'm gonna Google it.
You need to Google Garanimals. I think you're going to want to maybe restart the Garanimals brand for adult men.
Oh no.
Wow, did they make them that big?
No. Well, I mean, if you were like a jockey or something, you could probably fit into something.
Oh, right.
All right. So running a business hard. Conflict is hard.
Yeah.
But freedom
It's great.
It's worth it.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
but then there's an element of freedom and an element of responsibility, and it's great to
Mhm.
see young people. You're a young person, but you're doing things at an elevated. I don't like calling you a young person, even though you are.
I don't feel young.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what a business does. It grows you up. You haven't had a
Yeah.
choice.
Right.
Okay. Big question. We didn't pre-plan this.
No.
Knowing what you know, would you do it again?
Oh, everything. I wouldn't change anything in my life, even the hardest part I've ever been through.
Right.
Yeah.
You would go through it because
Absolutely.
that's what made you
Absolutely.
are.
Yes.
We are with Allison Mitchell, the founder. Well, actually, somebody else founded it. Was it always called Caddy Corner?
Oh, it has a history. It was the Bird's Nest and Must Be Trendy, and then it was Caddy Corner, and here I am.
Okay. The owner
The
of
owner.
caddycornerclothing.com. Caddy has D's in it. caddycornerclothing.com. And you can go see Allison, and it is a thrift type store. It's a consignment store, but it has good clothing in it, and you can sell clothing or buy clothing. So, I mean, if you're needing to buy some new clothes, trade some in, make a few bucks.
Exactly.
What a great concept that you're doing. All right, what's something about you that people would be surprised to know, like really surprised?
Okay.
And it can't be bass fishing because
Right.
we already covered that.
All right. So I actually get this preconception about myself a lot. People look at me. I mean, if you can see me today, I'm wearing bubblegum pink all the way down. So people think that I was the prom queen, or I was a cheerleader, or I was the most popular girl in high school. And I ate lunch in the bathroom alone, and I couldn't stay in any activities because I had a hard time making friends. And the friends that I did make were a rowdy bunch. I mean, some of them could be in prison. I don't know. I don't keep up with them, but I'm definitely different than what most people think I am. So I have a lot of layers. Like instead of Taylor Swift, I listen to Avenged Sevenfold, and instead of Christmas being my favorite holiday, I love Halloween. And instead of watching makeup tutorials, I just got it tattooed on my face. So
That's a
yeah.
thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, I've learned a bunch today. Anything you want to add to that list?
No, but just that having a high school experience like I had definitely gave me a different outlook on life and
Right.
people, and their motives and everything like that.
All right. So we're at that point where we ask you for a golden nugget.
No, I still have to give you fashion advice.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I think, is that on our?
Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, tried to get past it.
I think that's
Sorry.
gonna be lost on me.
oh no. Okay, real quick. Okay, so for January, you guys, you got to mix gray, navy, and white, black, cream, and brown, gray, brown, and black. These are a neutral mixing of colors that creates a unique look that's perfect for January. You're welcome.
Is this on your website?
No, actually, I just really love putting together weird style combinations. Like if you have a shirt you don't know what to put with, bring it to my store and I will help you create a whole outfit just off that one shirt. Actually, if you wore that whole shirt the entire week, you could look different every single day of the week if you let me dress
Oh.
you.
I saw somebody from my high school reunion, and this is how poorly I dressed. They said, "Man, I haven't seen you in 25 years. And if you hadn't been wearing those clothes, we wouldn't have recognized you."
Oh,
Yeah, because I
Wow.
just kind of figured out a thing that worked.
it's a
And
signature look.
this, it's a doctor's signature look. You can't read it. Yeah, so I appreciate the fashion advice. Give me that one. Give it one more time.
Okay.
I
So
wasn't fully committed there. Let's
you're
go again.
wanting to mix neutrals or for January, okay? So gray, navy, and white, black, cream, and brown, or gray, brown, and black.
Gray. I'm going to try gray, brown, and black. I don't
Okay.
have anything brown.
Oh no, that's a staple color for your
I
wardrobe.
don't have anything gray.
You need
Oh,
to come to my
no.
store.
We are. I'm going to have an event at your store.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have gray. I don't have.
Oh,
I
this
got
is
navy. Yeah. Okay. I've got. Yeah, you're never coming into my closet. I'm sorry. Because you'll think I'm abused or something.
If you let me in your closet, it'll be color coordinated and frontward facing and all on the same hanger.
So I think we're into home organizing now too. Is that what I just heard?
Oh, there's comedy in that. I think you'd walk in and go, "Nope,
Nope.
get me out of here. I'm going back in the insurance biz." Okay, we want to hear a nugget of
Okay.
advice for entrepreneurs.
So I kind of briefly went over it before, but my nugget of advice is figure out what you want to do. I know it's hard, but when you figure it out, just do it. Don't tell anybody. You don't need the added pressure, the questions, the doubts. Just do whatever it is you put your mind towards. And once you've accomplished it, then you can tell people.
I want to tell you how much I admire that. When I started my business, I told everybody,
Oh,
"You're not going to believe what I'm going to do. My name's Cash. I'm in this financial thing." And I told everybody what I was going to do. And they immediately began to attack me
right. Yeah.
all of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I lost friends over it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I hear you say what you did, I am reminded that say little and do much is a good motto to live
Yeah,
by.
yeah.
I have that on my bathroom mirror now. I've had it on there
Aw.
for quite a while. Say little, do much.
It's good.
And don't let them know what you got up your sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is an impressive interview.
Aw.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't expect this to go that well. I thought you were going to hit me with some Taylor Swift stuff.
I mean, I could sing for you if you'd like.
Can-
No. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we got something there. Oh, yeah. Jazz 97. Cool rhythms of the night. I'm sorry for that.
Well, anyway,
Anyway, well,
Anyway.
Allison Mitchell, the owner of caddycornerclothing.com. And we're glad Allison is here. And Kenneth, are you ready to wrap this one up? I am so sorry.
I
for
am. Before it
embarrassing
accidentally
myself.
turns into karaoke night, we should
No,
probably wrap it up.
cash and karaoke.
There it is.
You ready to go
Let's
for the
do it.
wrap here?
Let's
All right.
do it.
And I've got an alarm going off. I've told everybody
Wow.
to turn their
Definitely time
alarm
to
off.
wrap.
That means it's time to go watch the football game. Don't know who's going to win the national championship.
Don't even know who's playing because of the date of the podcast recording. and
Yeah, so I couldn't
release.
even tell you, but
a
nor
secret.
do I care. Anyway, listen, thanks for being here. We're going to wrap this show up today. What a great time. We are thankful for Allison to come all the way from Collinsville. And she had to take her helicopter because of traffic. And then we didn't have a place to park it, so she just tied it up and left it running.
It's on the roof.
Anyway, we're thankful that you're here. Life can be tricky, and we are not meant to endure this life alone. And I think, building a team and a family and people who genuinely love you and would come out to your car trouble even if they don't know how to fix it,
Yeah.
those are your people.
Yes.
And we spend too much time trying to impress other people who just aren't impressed with us anyway. So, Allison, what a great message today. I'm genuinely inspired by it.
Thank you.
So for today, as we go out in the world, let's be nice to each other.
Mhm.
I think that would serve the entire world really well. And for no reason whatsoever, today would be a great day to forgive somebody, especially if they don't deserve it, because forgiveness is not about them. It's about you. It's about releasing that chain that may be holding you back. If you're struggling to go full speed, it might be time to forgive those people who've slowed you down, because forgiveness, not about them. It's about you. And this show is about you, and we're thankful that you're here. Thanks for stopping by Cashflows.
That's our show for today. Stay tuned for another riveting edition of Cashflows.